All right, welcome back to Shave with Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. On Wednesday, and believe it or not, we're going to actually get in a Williams Wednesday on Wednesday. And I'm going to use the modern stuff. Even though it has been discontinued, it's still the most modern form. I'm going to use the Micromatic today. Just, no other reason than because. Got my Smog 1305. Good cup of Cafe Bustelo. And we're going to finish up with the Coachman here. Good old Coachman. All right. So there we go. That's what we're doing. Now I want to check real quick. I put a blade in this here Micromatic, but I didn't have my reading glasses on. Everything's good. The lustrage is looking good. So that's what we're going to use. So yeah, Wednesday. This is my long week at work, and then I pick up an extra day. And then we got a meeting on, a couple of meetings actually on Saturday. We do a meeting roughly every quarter of everybody. So we broke it into two this year so that make it a little easier on folks that are out doing stuff or, work that day or whatever. They decided to break it into two. So a morning and an evening. But anyway, that's just pretty normal stuff at work. So, it's a small world, and, some people equate that to, we've got jet flight, we can fly anywhere, or you got your phone and your videos and all this stuff, but it's just literally a small world. So, part of the duties as a supervisor at the state office, which is, I work for the state office of a very, very large company here in Louisiana, and, part of our duties is we call and check in on a regular basis and talk with the officers that are at the satellite district offices, and they're scattered all over the state, from all the way, up north in Shreveport and Monroe, all the way down to Metairie and Lake Charles and Lafayette and, all those places. New Orleans has got on. But anyway, so we talk with everybody. And, so last night, or night before last now, in the course of a conversation with one of the officers, he mentioned Edabina, Mississippi. Now, Edabina, Mississippi, for those that don't know, is the home of Mississippi Valley State University. Just up the road from Edabina, Mississippi, is Morehead, Mississippi, which is the home of Mississippi Delta Community College, Redneck Tech. So anyway, come to find out, he went to school at Mississippi Valley, and he was telling me he used to ride his bike down Highway 82. Now, my whole life, as long as I can remember, 82 was 4-lane. But he remembered it. He was old enough. He rode his bike down it when it was a 2-lane going from Edabina to Morehead. Then he got to naming all these little towns in between and everything. And I got to telling him, well, I used to run those towns when I was a younger man. I used to run those roads. I had a 63 Chevy pickup truck at one time. And I used to run those roads in that old Chevy. And then I had a new Chevy pickup truck at one time, and I used to run the roads in those. I had a 73 Datsun 240Z for a little while, and I run them roads in that one. But anyway, it's just a real small world that he was from down that way, and we talked about all those little old towns and everything. He was telling me something about a cotton gin. I think that's how the discussion actually got started, was that he was talking about they were baling hay. He and I guess his brother baled hay, and I had told him that I never baled hay, but the modern cotton pickers actually roll the cotton up like you're baling hay into the big bales, the big round bales. And he said something, he'd seen that back in Mississippi on those roads, and I told him, shucks, I think I've hauled cotton to that cotton gin he was talking about, where he had seen the bales of cotton. But anyway, it's just a little old bitty world. So last night, I was talking to one of the officers up north, and I mentioned that I used to go through where she is when we used to go to a lake over in Texas. And come to find out, she's from over there at that lake. And her parents' place is not too far from where my grandparents' cabin used to be. I was describing, I didn't know the street names and all this stuff, but I was describing where, you went across the dam and then you went up and there was a store and there was a church and she knew all these places. So a couple of nights in a row, I ran across people. One that was from back close to where I was from, and the other one that was from somewhere I used to go. Because this time of year has been when we start, next month and in April, we night fish for white perch, crappie, and around here they call them sockeye. But anyway, that was a normal thing when my grandparents were alive. My grandmother was well into her 70s and 80s, and well into her 70s. And I can remember her sitting out there all night catching white perch. My granddad had a little pontoon boat, and we'd all get on there and go out and tie up, and you just fish straight down with shiners. It doesn't do it once you knew where to go. Of course, the hard part's always knowing where to go. That's the secret to the good folks, is knowing. But anyway, and she'd sit out there all night, catch fish, as long as they were biting. When they stopped biting, wouldn't be interested no more. As long as they were biting, she was there. She was keeping count of how many fish she was catching one night with a lipstick on the side rail of the pontoon, and that stuck on there for years. It was faded, but you could still see if you looked up there where she was sitting in the front corner. You could still see where it had the lipstick marks on the railing where she was keeping count of how many fish she caught. I don't remember how many it was, but it was enough. It was plenty enough. All righty, well, check that out. While we've been talking, William and Wednesday had rolled along with the Micromatic. And that wasn't, it wasn't much of a growth, day's growth or so, but a little over a day's growth. But I went in early yesterday, so I shaved early, so it didn't have a full day's growth. So this is over a day's growth by just a little bit. But the Micromatic will knock it out. Let's do a new eye cleanup, which is not always needed, but it is part of the routine, so there you go. That's what you get. And while we're at it, this old Micromatic, sometimes when you loosen it up, it don't want to open. Got to tap the lid a couple times. They knock, open up. And we'll take that old blade out and you hold it by the spine, just like that. And look at there, all nice and dried off, ready to go next time. That's pretty much all it takes. It ain't complicated, folks. It ain't complicated at all. We're going to dry that Micromatic off and put it right there too. All right, so I've got to kind of mosey on and get ready for work tonight. And it was an okay sleep day. I was up and down a little bit more than I normally am, but it was still okay. But I got to finish getting ready for work, and the dogs are going to need walking. Miss Luna piled up on the bed right there. Y'all can't see her, I don't think, but she blends in with the darkness behind me there. But she's on the bed right there, ready to go. I can get ready to go with her. Ash Brown's probably sitting by the door. All right, well, look, y'all have a good afternoon. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shaves to you. And happy William Wednesday on Wednesday.